Let's talk Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Mugen Train. Man, I love anime movie names. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watcher Pass, and I'm going to do a quick review on the Demon Slayer movie, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Mugen Train. It's been available to stream on Funimation, and it comes to Blu-ray on December 21st, 2021, so you can finally own the physical copy of it. You can own it at home, watch it wherever you want. It's a long movie. It's 116 minutes, and it is an intense one. So apparently this film, when it debuted on April 23rd, it had the #1 opening weekend debut for a foreign language film, which seems pretty insane. But I guess it's a movie that follows a very strong anime franchise, and it's an interesting story on its own right. Now, I'm going to tell you, I did not see any of the Demon Slayer content before watching. This is my first exposure to Demon Slayer. So my hot take is you don't need to actually have seen Demon Slayer to enjoy this movie. There's enough laid out in the film that you can get a general understanding of what's happening. And I really thought is an enjoyable experience. It kind of gives you some good overview of the world and the characters, and it provides its own self-contained story that doesn't require much of the backstory in the movie. Now you pick up some things, and I'm sure if you've watched the Demon Slayer stuff, then you will have a much better experience. You'll probably pick up on more interesting aspects of the film. But if you haven't seen it, it's still enjoyable. In Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Mugen Train, you have the Demon Slayer characters, Tanjiro, Nezuko, his sister, Zenitsu, who he didn't really do much in the movie. He's just blonde. And then Inosuke, who has this awesome boar head. They are on this train trying to figure out what's happened because you have 40 people that have mysteriously disappeared on this Mugen train. So they're there with a legendary demon slayer as well. They're there with a legendary demon slayer, Flame Hashira Kyojuro Rengoku. And so they meet up with him, and together they try to figure out what's happening on this train. And that leads to, as you expect in the anime, some intense battles, some big effects, and some heartbreak and extreme emotion. So I should also probably start here by saying there will be spoilers in this review, although not a ton. I'm not going to talk too much about how this movie, and because it's been out for a while and it's been able to stream, but there will be spoilers. If you don't know anything about this, go check out the stream on Funimation, or we'll get the Blu-ray when it comes out early next week. But there will be spoilers, so just keep that in mind. If you don't want to know anything about it, turn this off now. So things I liked about this movie. The first is the animation. So I don't know if this is the same with the Demon Slayer TV show and the other aspects in the series, but the animation in this film has this really cool computer-generated background with hand-drawn animation, with hand-drawn style animation on top of it. So it almost feels like a video game at times because you have essentially this really, I guess, detailed or more realistic-looking background with these more traditional anime style characters on top. And it does give a very interesting anime style. It does let you kind of, I assume it harkens back to how the manga was drawn. And you have these really kind of intense ink lines almost on the characters that make it feel more hand drawn. And together it makes this really interesting style that is enjoyable to watch. Now, some of the stuff, some of the characters, they're not as detailed as I would expect, especially because the background is so detailed. But I do appreciate that it probably harkens back to how these characters were drawn in the original manga. And so, maybe adding detail would make them look too different from how they were supposed to be drawn or how they were originally drawn. It did provide this kind of weird contrast, but overall I enjoyed it. And I thought it was an interesting looking style for this film. The second thing I liked is the action. I mean, there wasn't a ton of action. This is actually more of an investigative type of movie, an investigative type of story, but there were some big fights and they were very intense and very interesting to watch, especially the final boss fight. The final boss fight was really, really good. It had multiple forms. It's like every good kind of anime fight. There were multiple forms. There were secret techniques. There were big effects. There was a ton of emotion. It was a kind of an intense, great experience. And the last thing I really liked is Rengoku. I mean, he was a fun character. He had a lot of kind of over the top and flashy powers, and his personality was also over the top. He had this kind of very happy and intense aspect to his personality that was fun to watch, and a nice contrast to Tanjiro, who had moments of intensity, but not to the level of Rengoku. Things I was neutral about, and this is neither good or bad, but the film is one story, and it's a good one, but it's good and bad because it is this self-contained experience. So for someone like me who hasn't watched Demon Slayer, I was able to watch it, kind of get the full experience and enjoy it without feeling like there was too much layered in there that I didn't understand. But on the other hand, I don't really know if it meaningfully advanced Tanjiro's story because there are some areas of growth from Tanjiro, but I don't really know if he had like big revelations in this. And so maybe someone who's watched the show, maybe they'll have picked up on those. For me, it just felt like it was a self-contained story that didn't really have tons of growth from the main characters. And a lot of the story was actually focused on Rengoku, who seems to be kind of a side character in this whole series, and that goes to the things I didn't like about this movie, and that is there's not much from Tanjiro. I mean, this story seems to be Tanjiro is involved in it, and he has important parts, but especially with the way the ending is, it's a lot about Rengoku and Rengoku's fight and his powers and his intense battle against one of these demons, and it felt like Tanjiro almost took a back seat. And like I said, it didn't feel like there was a ton of growth from him in this movie, and so it felt like he didn't really relate to the larger story and some of the larger aspects of this movie that are revealed. And so I don't know. That's just to me, it felt like if I'm seeing a movie, I want to see more growth from the main characters. But this felt like a side story with an interesting character and one that I liked, but one that's not going to have a ton of extra time in the Demon Slayer storyline after this movie. So it felt almost not, it didn't feel like wasted effort because you did get to spend some good time with him, but it felt like something that I don't know if I'm going to make a movie, if I'm going to see something as a fan, I would like to watch more about the main characters, the characters I care more about. But that's now. Let me see if I can do this from memory because I don't have my notes of the title in front. That's Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie, Mugen Train. It's available to stream on Funimation right now, and you can also get it on December 21st, 2021 on Blu-ray. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.